Okay.
So we have half of it aging in pipes.
Okay, which was brought from pipe, has
from
to
Portugal.
be. So it's the 550 liter barrels casks. So we brought that over. That's still aging, and the rest here is now in the style of a vintage.
Yeah.
So why don't we go taste it? We've been talking a lot before we taste this wine, you know. It's because of all this innovation here. Can you tell us a little bit of the grape varieties in this wine?
Yes, it's mainly Syrah. The most of it is Tinta Barroca from very old vines.
In South Africa they have this old Portuguese grape variety, which is I think regarded one of the five noble varieties of the Douro Valley.
Yep. And so they planted this, most of them in the 40s.
Okay.
And so we're talking about 60-year-old vines in a great area, Swartland.
This is what, so the north of north of Cape Town.
It is quite hot, so we have similar conditions as we have in the Douro to a certain extent. There's a little bit of Pinotage, which I think Pinotage is a variety which is very difficult to make red wine, but for fortified wine it seems to be a lot more interesting, and I've never heard anybody mentioning it. So it's something South Africans maybe should look into it.
Was it foot trodden, this wine?
Yes, 100%, and
so Portuguese style?
Almost 100% with the stems.
Okay.
So
with the stems, foot trodden, but you don't have the lagares there, I guess. Then you.
We had plastic lagars. Very authentic.
Okay, well, and the nose is beautiful, I have to say. It reminds me more of a port than of a fortified wine, because sometimes.
Because it's good.
No, but it's really precise, I have to say. What I like about it is...
But I think that's also what I like. I like precision, and I don't like overly sweet wines. Again, the balance is the most important thing in any wine, and here you have the balance.
So, about the the flavor profile, it's kind of a dried fruit character. You know, I find a lot of prune, I find a lot of fig, I find a lot of minerality on the palate.
I don't find so many of these overripe fruits. I try to avoid it in any case. It doesn't have many overripe grapes, and actually we took them out.
Yeah.
So I think what really makes this wine interesting is the energy it has in terms of lightness and precision.
What to me is the most overwhelming part about this wine, to be honest, is the taste. Because it's, as you say, it's not sweet. It's more like a dry style, though I guess it has to have residual sugar in a high amount.
It has a lot, but it has the balance. There's also a little bit of Carignan, which has a lot of acidity.
Okay, so here is a lightness, there is a good lift to this wine, and I think for what I've tasted from the port, not from the South African port side, I have to say, many of the
South African fortified wines,
they can be very big, and here we have a more really, let's say, almost like a razor blade on the palate, fresh style.
But I think it is important. Most of the
this is going to be a long video. We're going to split it in two parts, by the way, because this is too interesting, you know. So don't worry.
The fortified wines tend to be too sweet, and I think also there is some sort of oxidation due to overripeness, but also to the aging conditions.
Tell us a little bit about how should this wine be consumed, because I think now it's really nicely drinking at the moment.
I tell you how it should be consumed.
Many people think of port. Hey, it needs to age, it needs to be old, and it needs to be at least 10 years, and you should wait. But a lot of people wait, and they're dead, and the children won't take it because they drink something else in the meantime. I think that's a destination for many good wines, especially port wines.
Well, I think in this case, as with real port, I think you either drink them very young or very old. I have no idea how this will age. It's true. But I think there is a potential. And probably this wine in 20, 30 years will be a more interesting wine than today. But drinking it young, it's fun as well.
To me, at the moment, it's beautiful. This is right. At the moment, yes, thank you. I was going to say that.
So you learned how to drink it.
And what I think about port, sometimes many people think it should be consumed with cigars, after dinner drink, chocolate, you know, all this bullshit, which is beautiful. Don't get me wrong.
It's true.
But here, this gentleman taught me something, that port can be also consumed alongside with many dishes. Here I really go for it because it's dry enough. You know, one of the most favorite port styles I like, for example, is the Daus. Of course, course, Niepoort is the number one. You know, otherwise I get a
Finally,
smack in the face here. But Thou also is a drier style and a lighter, to me, a fresher style.
Yes, but you know, it's very interesting. We have a sweeter style, but it's very interesting that in blind tastings, many times people consider the Douws to be sweeter than the Niepoort, even though ours is sweeter. So the balance, we come back to this wine, is more important than the analysis. One of the great combinations is having a steak au poivre, so a pepper steak. With
pepper steak.
Young,
why don't you say
young vintage port, or with a young fortified one.
Well, to me in Germany we do a lot of braising, Sauerbraten, for example. If you're aware of this, you know, it's basically meat which you marinate in vinegar and herbs and spices for a couple of days, and in red wine, and then you braise it very slowly. You put some almonds to the sauce, you put some raisins to the sauce, even you can put a hint of chocolate into the sauce, and hey, wow, I tell you, this is great.
With port?
Of course.
You've
never had it?
No.
Rheinischer Sauerbraten. So all the chefs now, please come up with some recipes here. However, so you're gonna plan another vintage of this, or is this a one-time experience?
We'll see.
We'll see. All right.
We are all busy, and time is an important thing in life that we don't have that much, and Eben is very busy as well. But yes, I'm planning to go to South Africa next year, and if Eben wants to make it, we might do
haven't you done a Cape Charm also a while?
Oh, yes.
So these guys, you know, I can imagine this. It's like you know, two maniacs getting together.
Cape Charm.
Mavericks, not maniacs. Mavericks getting together.
Whatever you say. When making the Cape Charm was really interesting because I made 3 barrels, and at the end, after the 2 weeks and the fermentation almost finished and so on, I took a glass of the fortified, and Eben was, well, this looks really good. And then I gave him a glass of the Cape Charm, and he looks at it, no, Dick, I know you know how to make this stuff, but this is not wine, this is not good, this is not serious. And he didn't like it at all. And a few months later, we tasted it out of barrel. He said me straight. It was very funny because when he opened the barrel, took the wine, and he said, "Oh, no, I got the wrong barrel. This has too much color." So Cape Charm looked really thin, and a few months later, as I predicted, the wine got a little bit more color.
How does it? How does it go?
It always happens like that. I don't know, but yeah, it's known. And then when he bottled, I was not there. He wrote me a very nice email saying, "Wow, this is actually maybe really very, very, very good." And I think he actually likes it now.
You think so?
Yes.
Well, even maybe you see this video. However, one thing, my last question now goes to because something you said about freshness, about lightness. There is a new trend about this. How should
people talk more about it than actually understand it?
Thank you. I think that's great. Well, Dirk is on Facebook. Your sister is also on Facebook. The company is also, the Niepoort Projetos is also on Facebook. If there's any questions, please do contact us. And thanks for listening. This got a little actually longer than it's supposed to be, but having such a wine personality as Dirk Niepoort next to me, I could not hesitate to ask him a little more. Thanks for stopping by. Cheers.